Some roads don't take you somewhere, they take you back. Back to a time when America was wide open, when the highway was an adventure, and when music lived in the most unexpected places. We're driving Route 66 through the high desert of Arizona when we happened to stumble onto something we weren't looking for, and we could never have planned for it, even if we tried. This is the story of Hackberry General Store, a man named Ray Rose, and the living, breathing soul of the Mother Road. Route 66. Just the name conjunctures something. Bobby Trope wrote a song about it. Millions of Americans drove it during the Great Migration to the West, chasing dreams, chasing work, chasing a better life. And tucked into the tiny community of Hackberry, Arizona sits on one of the last authentic relics of that era, Hackberry General Store. From that moment that you pull into the gravel lot, you know you found something special. The place looks like time stopped somewhere around 1955 and decided to stay. Step inside, and the history hits you all at once. Route 66 signs in every size imaginable. Vintage metal signs for Coca-Cola, Indian motorcycles, old oil companies, postcards stacked in wooden racks, framed photographs of the highway in its heyday, a traffic light mounted on the back wall. This isn't a museum. It's a working store that happens to be living history. The kind of place where you come in for a cold drink and you end up staying for an hour. But here's the thing about Hackberry General Store that sets it apart from every other roadside attraction on Route 66. On most days, walk around the covered porch, the one with walls plastered in stickers from travelers who passed through over the decades, and you'll find something you simply don't expect. A man on a stool, a guitar in his hands, a microphone in front of him, and music drifting out across the desert. That man is Ray Rose.
It's Ray Rose, and growing up, my dad played guitar around. I was real rough in high school, real rough. And it's just one of those things that I had my first manager after I met Michael. He was a retired comedian from Chicago, and like I said, a funny guy, but he just kind of looked at me and shook his head. And the only reason he stayed with me was because I was a singer. I've always been a single playing guitar and singing. Because he tried groups and they kept falling apart. The last one was a great duo, Peanut Butter and Julie, they called themselves. They were great. He's a great player and she's just beautiful redhead singer. Got him to the Olympic Hotel in Seattle, one of the biggest rooms, like 5 or 6 different shows going on at a time in this room. I thought, boy, I finally got one. Then she ran off with the drummer of the country band, and that was the end of it. I said, what are we going to do? And I got about a 12 string, and he was trying to do this. I was like 19 years old. I said, well, he said, you want to play professional? I said, I think I'd like that. And he said, well, get rid of that 12 string and get something you can handle. And so I did. That's when I got my guild. And so he sat down and recorded a bunch of songs for me, and we worked, and I worked with him just a little bit. Well, then when I met Ted, I started getting going, and he was like, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I'll work with it. He says, get it, there's a in Portland there. And he says, there's a hoot night. He said, why don't you go up there and set yourself, set up the play, and I'll come and listen. So I did. And he just sat in the back of the room like this. And when I got through, I went over to him and he says, we'll talk tomorrow. Come over to my house. And I got over and he said, the environment was everybody knew each other. They went there every Saturday night, whatever it was, and played. And I mean, I was nervous and stuff. And I wasn't that good, but he says, you know what though? You got more balls than anybody I ever seen. You stood up and balls through those. But if we can do that, I could work with you. So anyway, so he took me under his wing and he sat down and put the set list together, did better, and I just started doing gigs. I started playing all the way. And so at 20 years old, I was playing places I could go. I'd have like a 30 song set, and I'd go in and play, and then have to get out of the room and go sit in a restaurant while I go back, that kind of. And the nice thing I always liked about doing the single, once I got a little better, was I'd get a call from an agent, and they'd say, well, I want you in Newport, Oregon for the summer. So there's back in the 70s, every little bar had a little dance floor stamps thing, and you could play and people would dance a little bit. So I'd get there the night before when I'd travel, and I'd take a cassette recorder in with me, and I'd go into the bar, and whatever they were putting into the jukebox, I'd record it, go back to my room and learn it, because I could learn stuff pretty quick. And then I could go and start playing where they would play that. And that's kind of how I developed over the years. And then I'd get a college and say, well, go down to Susanville for 3 months or go here. And so I'd get to sit and get to know people. It was nice.
Yeah.
And I improve myself a little bit. So that's kind of how I started here. And then I actually did it until I think for like 20 years. And then I got out of it. I had to get out of it for a while and got into alternative health. So I studied a lot of hands-on kind of stuff.
Okay.
Chinese manipulative massage was a school I went to. So a lot of acupressure, shiatsu, and Eastern philosophies and healing kind of stuff. And so I did that like for 20 years. I put a CD together for vibrational healing. It's all on working energies of the body. And I actually put it together as a cassette, which had to go right to a CD, right to the thing, and now it's like that. As soon as you got something back then going, it was out of date. You needed to redo something. So, so that's what I did with that. So, anyway, then I got kind of when I was back east, when my wife retired, and we went back to see the grandkids in Ohio, her kids, and we realized they could care less about it. I mean, they wanted to do their thing, and so we've always been out here. Ohio sucks. Anyway, but while I was there, I was working in a golf course for a while, and the guy asked if I played for the Christmas party. I heard you played before, and I didn't play. I had a guitar stuff, but I really didn't play that much. I said I would. So I did. I got worked up like a half hour of the show and did it. My wife had never heard me play like with a microphone. I think she heard me play guitar, but she didn't believe that I did it. So I did it, and she was like, "Oh, maybe I do something." And I met these three players. I was trying to play with a couple guys, and the one of them said, I think I do good up there. They were slowly getting tired of playing all the time. They were going up to Western and Grand Canyon. I was just playing music 4 nights a week. 4 hours a night to all the tourists, and I probably improved myself faster then than any time because that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Until COVID, and here I am.
Here you are, and this is kind of a unique spot.
Very unique. You're going to get away with it if it quiets down for a minute and people recognize it and they'll listen, and certain people, and I do some, I go back to the 50s a lot, some of Ricky Nelson and the Everly Brothers, and I'll do some of that sometimes. And you've got a crowd from Europe especially, so they'll get into it and they have fun doing it. But mostly I just try to keep everything at a steady, up-tempo pace, and so I can drown out. I'd be sitting here, there'll be 15 Harleys come in the tour, and it's loud.
It's loud.
And then a train goes by, a truck goes by, and then this thing goes off. And I usually, in the summer when it gets hot, I'll put a fan down here. It's not so much to keep me cool, it's to keep the bugs off. Because the flies are all over your microphone. And I did it last year, and thank God the owner liked it well enough to where they've been very kind to me. And she called and said, "Come back this year," and I said, "Sure, I'd like to come back."
Nobody thought that they ever would get away with the trouble in me. I've been carrying my trouble, this pack strapped to my shoulder. Ever since I was a baby, I've been running from everything I know. You tell me about my troubles. Nobody knows about my troubles. Nobody knows about my troubles, except for my baby and me.
People say, "Can I take a picture?" This is especially the Asians. They love pictures. Of course, because the Indians believed at one point which these are their science. If they got a picture taken, because in the box cameras back in the day when they first started taking, you could still see the picture in it before it. And so they're freaked out about it, and they say, "Are you real famous?" I've had so many pictures taken. My soul's been gone for years.